Hello, and welcome back to Lexington. I, as always, am your tour guide, navigator, and holder of obscure tidbits of information in this strange, often foreign world known as Lexington. Today, I want to talk about xenophobia and how it applies in my world. Now, for those of you who don't know, xenophobia is the unrational, unreasonable fear or hatred of foreigners or strangers. It's also the unreasonable fear or hatred of what is foreign and what is strange. So, why do I want to talk about this? Because intolerance exists no matter where you are. Even in pretend time, yeah, not everyone should get along. So, what makes xenophobia different than racism? Well, let me break it down to you this way. Two humans will never address one another as nigger, spick, cracker, chank. If it has to deal with the pigment of your skin, humans in Lexington don't care. They just don't. They're proud to be humans. Now, will they pick on the half-orc and the half-elf for being mulatto? It depends on their tolerance level. Some are considerably more accepting of the half-elf than the half-orc, while others just don't care for them either way. They're not full-blooded humans. So, there is a sense of racial, which really should be special pride, in that elves think they're better than orcs, orcs think they're better than dwarves, dwarves think they're better than elves, elves think they're better than everybody. What about that? Yes. What about that? Yes. Elves think they're better than everybody. Now, this isn't to say that racism doesn't exist in my campaign world, it just doesn't exist in the humans. Now, where does racism exist in my world? The elves. Where else? The same individuals who started the Great War 500 years ago, yeah. They're intolerant sons of bitches. And it's truly to be found in their raising and their environment more so than just their, it's not found in their DNA. You're not born a racist. You're taught this thing. So, among the elves who already think they're better than everybody else, a question is raised at some point or another. A gray elf sitting there going, okay, so I know that we're all better than everybody else, but among us, who is the best? And some high elf will go, well, clearly it's me. While the gray elf goes, no it's not, it's me. And then the sun elf replies, what do you know, moon elf? So, little racial intolerance begins and some dissension in the ranks. But an elf's an elf the world around. Yes, there are definitely some genetic differences, some environmental differences, but for the most part, the outside world sees elves as elves, with the exception of maybe the drow, who are still elves. But this is where the fun of it comes in, because elves, when you're playing an elf character in my world, you have to go and start from the beginning. Alright, you're an elf. You may be tolerant of other races, but you have been brought up to believe you are better than them. How you decide to act on that, that's up to you. The big question is, how do you interact with other elves of a different species? Because they are numerous. There are multiple different variations of elf that I allow in my campaign world. I allow the gray elf, the high elf, the wood elf, the drow, the water elf, the faerie, which is a demonic breed of elf, and one found only in my campaign world, the Balerian. The Balerian is a elf-fae mix. They are known for their ability to fly, their luscious butterfly wings, and their spell-like abilities. Yes, it is a pre-existing idea, but it was modified from my world, where although they might have some fae heritage, they've been around long enough that they are their own race, much like the drow. So, among all the elves, there's varying opinions about who is best, why they're best. and everybody is entitled to their opinion. But in the elven community, it is almost universally agreed the drow is the bottom man on the totem pole. In the Great War, drows weren't really an ally of the elves, they were a tool of the elves, forced to fight. So there is some sympathy to be given to them. But what's this all boiling down to? You know, xenophobia, racism, intolerance, and the like in Lexington? Well, it creates a unique opportunity of how you want to play your character and what your character might hear. As I said before, human racial slurs don't exist. Humans are known as the scourge that want to fuck anything, which is apparent by the half-elf, half-orc centaur. I'm just joking. But yeah, there's a lot of things that look human, or have the half, which implies the other half is human. So they're known as the scourge that wants to, to sleep with everything. Elves are sometimes called fey-hearted, which is just kind of just a dig to go, oh, you're pretty like the Fae, so obviously you must be a Fae. You're a Fae-hearted. They don't like that. They, again, if you see yourself as above everything, you don't want to be compared to something lower than you. The poor drow still have that horrible stigma of spider eaters, even though they don't eat spiders. Okay, maybe a caster or two that uses web, fine, I'll give you that. But not all drow are casters. And humans, just the same, can eat a spider to cast web. But you don't hear us calling them spider eaters. No, they're just the guys who like to screw with everything. The dwarves, yes, they have their garnet wine, and that kind of puts them in position. I made you some lovely rocks for dinner. Are you hungry? I will have beast and wine. Oh, okay, so you wanted some sautéed rocks? I will have beast and wine. Oh, okay, you want a stir-fry rock? God damn it, I hate you guys. Sometimes how the dwarf has to put up with things. Now, what can you say about the good folk? Well, let's see here. The halflings, not a lot of racial jokes that can't also just be height jokes. The good folks can't reach the good shelf, which everybody knows the good shelf is the top shelf. Gnomes, what do we say about the gnomes? Well, the gnomes are dying out, so they kind of get a pass on this one. We don't really make fun of the kid with cancer, or, the one trying to overcome things, so yeah, gnomes are dying out. So not a lot of racial slurs are put into thought that came to them. The orcs, well, clearly they just want to rape and pillage everything, so you call them musky, you call them, unhygienic. A lot of negative stereotypes behind an orc. And personally, I've met some very articulate orcs, so I take offense to that. So, xenophobia, racism, intolerance. This is how it is presented in Lexington. Tell me how it's presented in your fantasy worlds. As always, I love you guys to leave comments, and both on the YouTube RPG Brigade and on my channel. And as always, if you're enjoying this video, please like, share, and subscribe. You guys have a great day.